Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We're coming at you live in front of a sold-out alumni field where today the Michigan Wolverines take on the Valparaiso Crusaders. Again, I'm Morris Fabry. Alongside me is Jeremy Parks. Jeremy, it is a dreary Midwestern evening. I'd say a quintessential late spring evening here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. What should we expect out of the Wolverines and the Crusaders today?
Wolverines trying to rebound, Morris, from a crushing 10-inning defeat in the championship game of the Big Ten tournament last weekend in State College, Pennsylvania, at Penn State. The hosts lost to the Minnesota Golden Gophers in an almost story-like game. You couldn't write it any worse. The game went until 1 in the morning. Just errors abounding on both sides. Neither team playing very well. And Michigan trying to rebound here with an opening game in the regional action of the NCAA tournament against one of the great Cinderella stories in the Valparaiso Crusaders, a team that at one point this season, towards the end of March, was just 3-20. Going into their conference tournament, 14-32, won 4 games in the Horizon League tournament, including an 8-inning extra innings victory against Wright State to win the championship and earn their place here in the NCAA championship rounds. Again, the Valparaiso Crusaders not bringing the normal firepower these Wolverines might be accustomed to seeing, but absolutely nothing to scoff at. The Wolverines are going to have to work hard for a win here this afternoon to try and advance to tomorrow's first game against the Miami Redhawks, who upset the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the first game that just concluded here about a half hour ago.
Well, Valparaiso got here. Now they have to deal with the Michigan Wolverines. But first, we're going to pause and take a moment for the national anthem.
Turn down the voices here, and you will get the Nat sounds.
Well, it looked like everybody was facing the flag. Turns out they're headed back to the dugouts. So we're just going to get right into it. Anyway, Valpo, they made it this far. Now they have to face the Wolverines, led in the circle by junior ace Megan Betza. What exactly does Valpo have to deal with today?
Best pitchers in college softball today. Megan Betza has been on an absolute tear all season long, looking to continue where she left off. Pitched incredibly well in the Big Ten championship in State College last weekend. Really more of the same from her coming into this one. Her ERA has finally snuck under 2 to 1.99. Opponents hitting just 145 against her. And again, that glaring, ugly number on the stat line for opposing hitters, 254 strikeouts on the season for Megan Betza. Trying to hit 3 centuries, 300 strikeouts before this season ends. Trying to rack up those Ks, and she's going to go right to it this afternoon for the Wolverines. That's going to be the key. Give these bats an opportunity to wake up. We're a bit sleepy in that championship game. We're not pushing across runs as they had in prior games. Again, Michigan going to need to pick it up offensively. Megan Betza is going to be the one to carry them into a position to do so.
All right, we're about a minute away from the first pitch. It'll be at about 7:11. It is a cool gray evening Friday here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The temperature just above 60 degrees. The lineup to start things off for the Valparaiso Crusaders, leading off the second baseman Carly Trepanier, hitting second the center fielder Taylor Lawson, hitting third the catcher Sam Stewart, hitting fourth the right fielder Caitlin Ranieri, hitting fifth the designated player Taylor Nodler, hitting sixth the third baseman Georgie Calambaris, hitting seventh the shortstop Stephanie Moreno, hitting eighth the first baseman Brenna Boyle, and hitting ninth the left fielder Lainey Callahan. Your umpires on today: behind home plate Brian Smith, down the first base line Tanya Gehrig, and at third base is Liz Hammerschmidt. The lights are shining again, and we are sold out here. Fans from all 4 teams adorn the bleachers surrounding Alumni Field. The alumni band for the Wolverines out in the far reaches of the bleachers in deep center field. In the farthest area of the upper deck, they have been removed from their normal spot down the left field line because of the demand for tickets here in this regional. Betz is in the circle. Trepanier's in the left-handed batter's box. Betza winds, gets the sign for Falk, and delivers the first pitch. Is swung on and missed for strike one.
Your first pitch, 7:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, game time temperature, a cool 66 degrees. Temperatures expected to drop into the high 50s as the evening wears on here in Ann Arbor.
Betza comes set, working quickly. She winds. The 0-1 pitch to Trepanier. Swing and a miss. Trepanier, a slap hitting approach. She was out of the box and swinging out of her socks at that pitch as it went up over her head. The count goes to 0-2.
That two-punch Megan Betza brings. She can take you right in with the fastball, then climb the ladder and get you to chase up high. Trepanier finding herself down 0-2 early.
Trepanier hitting .341 on the season. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. She goes down on strikes. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. 1 up, 1 down for Megan Betza to start this game.
And the Betza train just keeps on rolling. No stops. 255 strikeouts on the season. That the first of the day. Megan Betza continues to roll, and the Michigan Wolverines are underway in this one.
And that rising fastball, it's just got to look so juicy once it's at belt level, but then it just keeps climbing way up out of the zone. That brings up Taylor Lawson, another lefty. The first pitch up and over her head, she takes for ball 1.
And really, Trepanier at the top of that order, the most dangerous hitter in the Valparaiso lineup, hitting .341. Only one other hitter in this lineup is hitting over 300, and that's Nadler at .305. So, again, not a lot of firepower in these Valparaiso bats.
The 1-0 pitch on its way from Betts, a swing and a miss, a half swing from Lawson, who is more of a speed merchant than anything. She's hitting .273 on the season, has 22 stolen bases, the infield and outfield, shading in on the lefty.
Hardly even having to pull the string here early, just beating them with speed.
1-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the first, Betza winds, delivers. Lawson takes, and the pitch misses high for ball 2. Looked like another fastball out of the right arm of Megan Betza.
Good pitcher's pitch. Must have looked good to Lawson, but good plate discipline. Again, it has to be on the scouting report for any opposing team that Megan Betza likes to try and climb the ladder up and outside from time to time.
Lawson with a wide stance. Rest of the bat on her shoulder. The 2-1 pitch swung on and tapped foul toward the right side. The Wolverines not in their typical spot over in the third base dugout today, as still the home team, but usually they spend their time in the first base dugout.
A huge showing from the Wolverines fans at a sold-out Alumni Field. Great evening here for softball, just a bit overcast.
2-2 the count. Betza winds and delivers. Swing and a miss. Taylor Lawson down on strikes, and it's 2 up, 2 down via the swinging strike for Megan Betza to start off this game.
2 frontwards Ks, and Megan Betza climbed the ladders a few times in that at bat. And Lawson did a good job on a few of those pitches to lay off, but that time there was just nothing she could do. Went after it, chased, and that will be the second strikeout, second out of the inning.
Now Sam Stewart at the plate. The first pitch is a breaking ball that misses low in the dirt for ball 1. It's scooped by Aiden Falk.
Stewart coming into this one hitting .279 on the season. Has hit 7 long balls and 33 RBI for the Crusaders.
Stewart, the righty, a wide stance, slightly open, awaits the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball on the inner edge for a called strike 1. That one about thigh high. These Valpo hitters have barely made contact with Betza thus far.
Great pitch. Not much you could do even if you did try and bring that bat around. It would have just gotten Stewart in on the hands.
1-1 the count. Betza winds, delivers. Fastball just misses off the plate away. The count moves to 2-1.
7 home runs for Sam Stewart. Leads the Valpo Crusaders here on the season in that category. So you could consider her the biggest power hitter on this team.
2-1 the count. Betza working quickly, winds, delivers. Fastball called strike 2 on the inside corner. That one also about thigh high. Betza pounding the plate in on the hands of the righty Stewart, and she is ahead in the count 2-2.
And if it's not hesitation, it's just a poor swing. It's been one or the other for the Valpo Crusaders early on here.
Betza winds. The 2-2 pitch, check swing. No appeal yet. Did not go around. The count moves full on Stewart as the pitch came in hot and high. Now an appeal down the first, and first base umpire Tanya Gehrig says that she did not go around. That doesn't look like Tanya Gehrig down at first base, but could have a bit of a correction to make on our lineup sheet. Anyway, the count is full. Betza winds, delivers, swing and a pop-up foul. That one's going to make its way to the screen behind home plate. Falk will pick it up and relay it back to her pitcher. The count remains full.
That's taking her time now. Walks all the way to the back of the circle, settles herself, and checks her armband for the payoff pitch to Stewart.
That's a come set. Winds the full count pitch. Fastball called strike 3 at the belt on the inside corner. Betza strikes out the side, and we head to the bottom of the first. Still scoreless here at Alumni Field on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
Boy, she just made that first inning look way too easy, Morris. Every single pitch was a juicy pitch for those Valpo hitters. Not a whole lot of swings, not bringing the bat around very much. And that really benefited Megan Betza as that hesitation paid off and a called third strike to end the inning.
And now in the circle for the Valparaiso Crusaders, Taylor Weisenhofer helped carry this team to their tournament victory. The lineup she will be facing today for the Wolverines, leading off playing center field, Sierra Lawrence. Hitting second, playing second base, Sierra Romero. Hitting third, the first baseman, Tara Blanco. Hitting fourth in right field is Kelsey Sue Salop. Hitting fifth, moving up in the lineup, is the catcher, Aiden Falk. Hitting sixth, moving down in the lineup, Kelly Christner. Hitting seventh, the designated player, Faith Canfield, finding her way back in the lineup after resting in the tournament championship against Minnesota. Hitting eighth, the third baseman, Lindsay Montemorano, and hitting ninth, the shortstop, Abby Ramirez.
These Wolverine hitters will be facing Taylor Weisenhofer again, the Cinderella story for the Valpo Crusaders in the Horizon League tournament. They went into the tournament at 14-32, and they won out all the way through to win a spot here in the regional. Weisenhofer was the power there that brought them through, and we'll thank our I-team over to our right here outside, Josh from WTKA here in Ann Arbor, telling us that Weisenhofer pitched 28 in a third innings, I should say, only giving up 7 earned runs, I believe. One earned run. Could not tell if it was a 1 or a 7. Because it was 1 earned runs, not 1. There we go. We're good. It was 1, so very, very impressive. Even more impressive than 7.
A force to be reckoned with here for the Wolverines lineup that is coming off one of their worst performances, objectively speaking, of the year against Sarah Gronewagen, who pitched a complete game 10-inning victory. The first pitch to Sierra Lawrence is a called strike, a fastball on the outside corner. Lawrence hitting .452 on the season.
That 4.12 ERA for Weisenhofer. Opposing hitters hitting just .248 against her on the season. Going to be a tall order for the Wolverines today.
The 0-1 up and in almost hits Lawrence on her front shoulder. She ducks out of the way. The count goes to 1-1.
And they say Gillette is the best razor to give you a close shave. That one up and in will be nice and smooth on Sierra Lawrence. Little chin music.
The 1-1 swinging a pop-up on the infield should be an easy play for the Valparaiso second baseman, Trepanier, and Carly Trepanier makes the catch on the infield dirt. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines. We are not sponsored by Gillette. I just figured I'd clarify that here. That was just Jeremy.
Just a little plug. It is a good close shave, I will admit.
We receive no money from Gillette for our broadcast.
And maybe we should. Maybe we should.
That brings up Sierra Romero. Shows a bunt, pulls back on the first pitch, and it goes right down the heart of the plate for a called strike 1.
What can be said about Sierra Romero that has not already been said? One of the best players in the history of this program, one of the best players in NCAA softball history.
The 0-1 pitch, fastball misses off the outer edge. The count moves to 1-1 on Sierra Romero. Not afraid to take a walk, not afraid to bunt, also not afraid to hit the ball 250 feet. Opposing pitchers have to reckon with all three. The 1-1 on its way. She takes, and that's a fastball that misses perhaps off the plate inside. The count moves to 2-1.
That .472 batting average, 17 long balls, 73 RBI. She is the offensive pace setter for this team.
2-1 the count. Weisenhofer delivers, swinging a pop-up. That one's going to make its way out of play over the screen and into, well, just over the bleachers. Bounces into the Michigan bullpen, and the count moves to 2-2. The two swings that have made contact for the Wolverines have both resulted in pop-ups. So the Wolverines not quite able to square up Weisenhofer just yet. Weisenhofer winds. The 2-2 pitch, swinging another pop-up on the right side. That one making its way toward the stands, and it is caught, a juggling catch by who I presume to be the Big Ten cameraman down the right-hand side, just beyond the edge of the Valpo dugout.
Sierra Romero was the highest selection ever for the Michigan Wolverines in the National Fast Pitch League draft, going second overall this year. She'll continue her professional career with the USSSA Pride, following her career here at Michigan at the end of the season.
The 2-2 pitch again, swinging a high fly ball. That one deep into center field, at the track, at the wall. It is gone. It ricochets off the railing above the fence. Home run has been signaled. It will be a home run for Sierra Romero to start things off for the Wolverines. She's standing on third base, but Tanya Gehring has the right call, and she's going to go home with a solo Rambam.
And Sierra Romero is still standing on third base, waiting to be waved around the home plate. Now she will take a trot as her team will welcome her at home plate. Steps on the bag, and a little dab as she steps into home.
You know, credit where credit is due. Taylor Lawson almost made a phenomenal catch in right center field. She timed her jump perfectly, and the ball just sailed barely beyond her grasp off that front railing, but it was clearly a home run from our vantage point. And with that, Sierra Romero has accumulated 300 career RBI here at the University of Michigan. That also have to give thanks to Josh for that fact. He gave us an updated copy of the Michigan record book. First pitch on its way to Blanco, misses high for ball one. That also Romero's 81st home run in her career.
The absolute incredible power numbers continue for Sierra Romero. Tara Blanco having herself a power season as well.
The 1-0 pitch, fastball called strike on the outside corner. The count moves to 1-1.
Blanco is hitting .417 with 12 long balls of her own on the season, trying to challenge Sierra Romero in the RBI count at just 62, but she's trying to creep up and challenge Romero for the lead. Romero putting a little more distance there.
The 1-2 pitch is also a called strike on the outer edge. The count moves to 1-2 on Tara Blanco.
The count is 1-2 on Blanco. It was the 1-1 pitch.
Little rusty starting things off. The 1-2 pitch is swung and popped up foul above the screen behind home plate and out of play into the concession area it goes. Blanco, a very potent two-strike hitter, had a pretty heroic weekend for the Wolverines, going yard a couple times, including a solo shot in the 6th inning to take the lead over Minnesota. The lead, however, was short-lived. Weisenhofer winds. The 1-2, swinging a pop-up foul out of play. It's going to bounce off the roof of the press box and again bounce into the concession area. They've been bombarded with balls over the course of the last two swings. The count still remains 1-2.
For our regular listeners, last weekend in State College, Morris and I got our first ever foul ball in the booth. The almost 2-year-long quest has finally ended.
The 1-2 yet again, fastball misses high. The count moves to 2-2 on Tara Blanco.
And really not bad pitching so far from Weisenhofer. She did get taken deep by Romero, but her pitches have been good pitchers' pitches. They've been generally around the zone, nothing too crazy outside, and the Wolverines have just done well with it.
The 2-2 swinging a foul back to the screen. Blanco barely got a piece of it, lunging at the pitch on the outside half. Blanco hitting .417 on the season, 12 home runs, 62 RBI. She stands near the middle of the box, weight on her back foot. 2-2 the count. Nobody on, one out here in the bottom of the first. Weisenhofer winds. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Blanco goes down on strikes. Tardy on the fastball, and that's the second out of the inning.
It's going to give way to Kelsey Susal. A little bit of a lineup switch here for the Wolverines again today. Morris, you mentioned it earlier, coming out of that Big Ten tournament loss, there were some interesting calls made. Katie Alexander, the freshman, started for the first time in her career in the championship game, and the hitting just wasn't there, so the lineup change justified here tonight.
The first pitch to Kelsey Susal, a popped up foul ground. Coming on is the third baseman, Callum Barris, to make the catch just behind home plate, and that's going to do it for the first inning. Michigan, a 1-0 lead on the strength of a Sierra Romero home run. And we head to the top of the second. Michigan leading the Valparaiso Crusaders 1-0 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. Thank you to those of you who have tuned in.
Thank you to all of our listeners around the country and around the world. The now global WCBN can be heard in Canada, Germany, Spain, Mexico, and beyond, according to the new data tracking software we have, which is pretty cool. So, again, thank you for tuning in. We'll be here all weekend covering the regional. Next weekend for the Super Regional, and fingers crossed in Oklahoma City, provided Michigan continues to win softball games, something they've proven very adept at. We always want to invite you to interact with us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we love interacting with our fans. And if you don't have Twitter, feel free to comment on our YouTube video. It is the audio that you're listening to most likely at this point in time. We also love doing comments over that. And look out later in the game for our daily trivia question. Winner will receive on-air fame and nothing else from us, as we really don't have anything to give other than a little on-air shout-out.
Betts back in the circle for the second inning. The hitter she will face leading off, the right fielder Caitlin Ranieri. Hitting next in the 5 spot, Taylor Nodler, the designated player, and then Georgie Calambaris. A fun series of names. We'll see if they can do better than the first 3 hitters to face Betsa, all of whom struck out.
And again, you look at the strikeout numbers for this Valparaiso team. From the top of the order, just going 1 through 9, 15 strikeouts, 19 strikeouts, 34 strikeouts, 26, 34, 18, 30, 22, 24. And then you look at the Wolverines, and the team lead is 23, tied between Kelsey Susala and Kelly Christner. Really, this Valparaiso team fans a lot, and that is favorable for Megan Betsa, a big strikeout pitcher, already with 257 now on the season and 3 on the game.
You know, it's the difference between a team that went 46-5 playing in the Big Ten and a team that went 18-32 playing in the Horizon League, to put it diplomatically. Ranieri leading things off, the lefty right fielder hitting 279 on the season. She's got some power numbers, 5 home runs, 28 RBI, and she has a .419 on-base percentage when leading off the inning. See if she can get on versus Megan Betsa, who seems to have her best stuff going tonight. Montemurano shading about 6 steps in from her spot from the bag at third base. The rest of the infield and outfield straight away. The first pitch is swung on and popped up foul on the left side, out of play. It'll bounce just in front of the batting cages and trickle away toward the parking lot, where it will be scooped by one of the Michigan event staff employees. Our foul ball, we had to give it back to the event staff down at Beard Field very quickly. At least we got the pictures.
You bet we got some pictures. That was a 2-year-long wait nearly, Morris, and couldn't be happier.
I'm still hoping to get another one today, Jeremy. Ranieri stands near the back of the box, holds the bat nearly parallel to the ground. The 0-1 pitch on its way, fastball misses above Ranieri's head for ball 1.
The first super high pitch that Megan Betsa has used to climb the ladder here this evening. It was becoming a bit of an issue in that Big Ten championship game last week. Got a little bit erratic with it, so just trying to bring it back in a little bit more level here in the 1-1 count.
The 1-1 pitch on its way, breaking ball swing and a chopper just foul down the first base line. Blanco bobbled it, but didn't really have to make a play. The count moves to 1-2. Betsa can either utilize that drop ball, which she used on that pitch, or the fastball. We'll see if she goes with the former or climbs the ladder. Nobody on. 1-2 the count. Betsa comes set, lines, and delivers. Fastball missed on the ladder. The count moves to 2-2.
Good discipline from Ranieri there. In play protection mode with 2 strikes on her. Going to have to keep that good eye against Megan Betsa, who continues to offer good hitting pitches to these Valparaiso hitters, or at least pitches good enough to chase after.
2-2 the count. Betsa comes set, looks in. The pitch on its way, fastball misses low and in. The count moves to 3-2. Betsa just, I think, messed up her release point just a bit on that pitch.
Looked a little bit flimsy. Going to have to tighten that arm up just a little bit, but so far Betsa has been nothing short of fantastic. Again, struck out the side in the first inning, trying to keep it up here with the full count.
3-2 the count. Betsa delivers. Fastball off the plate inside, and Ranieri works her way to a leadoff walk here for the Crusaders in the top of the second inning.
First walk of the day that Megan Betsa has allowed. She's given up 104 so far on this year. Correct me. That is 95 on the season. 104 walks for Weisenhofer on the other side of things.
Yeah, Betza was spectacular in the outing against Minnesota, but in those 9 innings also gave up 8 walks to go with 10 Ks. The first pitch to Taylor Nodler, however, splits the plate at the knees for a called strike 1. Nodler, the lefty DP, hitting .305 on the year with 5 home runs and 25 RBI. The infield shaded in at the corners, deep up the middle, the outfield straight away. We can feel a breeze blowing in toward us, but the flags are dormant around the park. The 0-1 bunt attempt caught by Falk in the air. A really poor effort from Nodler, and quick reactions from Aiden Falk for the first out of the inning.
That has got to be, from top to bottom, one of the most annoying things as a coach. Just a poor bunting technique. It's something that you teach time and again, and it proves to be time and again one of the most difficult things for hitters to do, just getting underneath the bunt, allowing airtime, and a great catch by Falk for an easy out.
That'll bring up Georgie Calambaris. The righty crouched low in the box. The first pitch, fastball called strike, splits the plate thigh high. Calambaris, well, her strike zone doesn't appear to be very big, we'll put it that way, hitting .208 on the year, a .248 on base percentage, 18 strikeouts to go along with only 5 walks. That's a come set. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball caught a lot of the plate, and Calambaris just cut right through it.
The second lowest strikeout total in this starting lineup for the Valparaiso Crusaders. With those 18 strikeouts, the only hitter with fewer is Trepanier with 15.
Calambaris lifts the bat back behind her. The 0-2 pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Georgie Calambaris heads back to the dugout. That is Megan Betza's 4th strikeout on the day.
Just keep on rolling.
That's going to bring up Stephanie Moreno, the shortstop. She's hitting .274 on the season. 5 home runs, 15 RBI. A .321 OBP for the shortstop, who stands with a wide open stance, tall near the front of the box. The first pitch, fastball, called strike on the inside corner. Betza gave up threw a few bad pitches to Nodler, but since then has reverted to her form that she started the game with, just firing in strikes.
And working quickly as well.
0-1 the count. Betza winds, delivers. Fastball, bunt shown. Moreno pulls back. Pitch misses off the plate outside for ball 1 anyway.
Ranieri down on first was quick to jump off of the bag, but that battery of Megan Betza and Aiden Falk so in tune that Falk was up out of her crouch the second the ball hit her leather, ready to throw down to second.
Betza winds, the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Moreno can't find it. Fastball near the knees. Looked like Moreno was trying to golf one out of here, but her swing ended up like a lot of my golf swings do, catching nothing at all. 1-2, the runner on first base is Ranieri. She's got no stolen bases on the season. The 1-2 pitch on its way, fastball high. Moreno thought about it, instead checked her swing. The count moves to 2-2.
That's trying to put down Moreno for her 5th strikeout of the afternoon. Very close to 260, already with 258 on the season now.
Betza comes set. Winds, the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Moreno down on strikes. And the Valparaiso Crusaders down with nothing to show for it. We head to the bottom of the second. Michigan leading the Valparaiso Crusaders 1-0 here at Alumni Field on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. I'd like to take this moment to remind our listeners that you can interact with us at any point during this game, either communicate with us via the chat option on our YouTube video or tweet at us at WCBN Sports. We're always monitoring those media, always looking to interact with our listeners, with Michigan softball fans as we go throughout our broadcast.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel that you are listening to right now. We have 199 subscribers at this point. You could be the 200th this evening, and what a lucky honor that would be. Let us know if you're the 200th. We'll also give you an on-air shout-out and a little bit more, maybe a little heads up, maybe an extra hint on the trivia question this afternoon.
But what if everybody just starts tweeting at us saying they're the 200th? Wouldn't they need some sort of proof?
Well, we'll find out when number 200 hits, and we'll also trust. I mean, there's a little bit of trust that goes into it.
I guess I have to trust our listeners. They're a pretty solid bunch.
They trust us to bring the coverage. We trust them to tell us they're the 200th subscriber, et cetera, et cetera.
Also trust them not to Google the trivia answers.
I'll tell you what, the Miami Redhawks team sitting up in the grandstand over in right field now watching this one. They will play the winner of this game in the first game tomorrow at noon. They pulled an upset win over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the first game of the evening, 3-2. Scored a run in the top of the 7th inning, and then were able to hold off an Irish rally. Notre Dame had a runner on second with 2 out, and were very close. And in most people's opinion, I think the runner was safe at first base on the final out of the game, but was in fact called out at first base, and that ended the game. So a controversial ending. Hawks a win, their first win of this regional tournament. And again, they will play the winner of Michigan Valparaiso tomorrow at noon, and we will be here with the coverage of that game as well as the game pitting the 2 losers of both of these games, bringing coverage for all listeners of every team, not just the Michigan Wolverines, as Big Ten Network won't be here tomorrow.
That's good to hear, Big Ten. I harbor no ill will toward them, but, you know.
We get more listeners when they're not here.
Facts are facts. Leading off the inning for the Wolverines, Aiden Falk, the catcher. Weisenhofer has a lefty-lefty matchup in her favor for the second time this game. The first pitch swung on, hit high, tailing deep toward the left center field gap, but by the center fielder Taylor Lawson. 1 pitch, 1 up, and 1 down for the Wolverines in the bottom of the second inning.
It was good contact from Falk, squared it up just right, but hung up in the air a little bit too long. Lawson with a good jump on it, read it well. And a good first out of the inning for the Valparaiso Crusaders.
That's going to bring up Kelly Christner for the Wolverines. Christner hitting .303 with 6 home runs and 31 RBI on the season. The first pitch, fastball, called strike right down the middle. Christner taking all the way. Christner's season a far cry from the smashing success she had last year. Her home run total cut into 3 roundabout. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a line drive down the right field line. That one's going to drop fair toward the right field corner. Christner takes the turn, heads towards second, and slides in with a 1-out double and does the dab for the dugout.
Well, you think she didn't like being put in that 6th spot in the lineup. She's going to try and work her way right back up, and that double will help her cause. Great piece of hitting there by Kelly Christner to give the Wolverines something to work with 1 out here in the second inning.
That's going to bring up Faith Canfield. Canfield, the DP, hitting .306 on the season. Has 3 home runs. I figure we've seen all of them. I think most of them have come at home. The first pitch from Weisenhofer, swinging a pop-up foul. That one's just going to make its way over the screen, off the railing, and into the bleachers. So 1 pitch and 1 strike on the DP freshman, Faith Canfield.
And a lot was made about the fact that Canfield sat for the championship game in the Big Ten tournament. Say what you will, she is right back in the lineup today. Katie Alexander finding herself on the bench in this one.
The 0-1 pitch, a fastball off the plate, low and away for ball 1. We haven't seen, I don't think, anything off speed out of the left hand of Taylor Weisenhofer.
No, and with the exception of the double to Christner and the long ball to Romero, she has done very well against this really tough Wolverines lineup through the majority of it already now at 7 in Canfield.
The 1-1 fastball misses high for ball 2. I think a lot of her pitchers have that rising action, which has induced Michigan hitters to hit pop-ups. I figure, you know, if the Wolverines can channel it, can square up, can get the angles right, we're going to see a lot of balls flying out of here the second time through the lineup if it gets that far. The 2-1 pitch, swinging a pop-up behind the infield. Heading out there is Trepanier, makes the catch. Tagging from second, heading to third is Christner. She slides and beats the throw from short right field. It was a long run for Trepanier, a tough throw, and Christner, a smart play, advancing to third.
And it was a good grab from Trepanier. Also a very nice throw. It was a little bit late. It was a 1-hop into third base, but it would have been right on target had she got it in there with a little bit more speed. Anyways, that will move Kelly Christner up to third base for the Wolverines. Now she the lone base runner on third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
That'll bring up Lindsey Montemorano. Monty hitting .317 on the year. The first pitch fastball, called strike, just above the knees on the outside corner.
And we always credit Lindsey Montemorano with her dazzling glove over at third base, but is also known for helping the Wolverines get through innings with 2 outs. A great 2-out hitter, hitting .303 on the season.
The 0-1 pitch fastball misses way high for ball 1.
And although that .303 batting average may not sound incredible, it's the walks that she gets, it's the long at-bats, the battles that she has late in the inning give her that reputation of being a spark plug and a rally keeper for the Wolverines.
The 1-1 fastball called strike on the outer edge. A close pitch. Monty didn't like the call too much, but the count moves to 1-2 nonetheless.
Montemurano has 8 home runs on the season, 32 RBIs. Can definitely get the ball over the wall with the right amount of velocity on those pitches, and Weisenhofer is giving her that velocity to work with.
The 1-2 fastball misses low and away. The count moves to 2-2 on Montemurano. The infield and outfield straight away. Kelly Christner on third base. Michigan holding on to a 1-0 lead, looking to add on to that here in the bottom of the second inning. Weisenhofer gets the sign, winds, delivers, swinging a foul back to the screen. Monty just getting a piece, keeping the at-bat alive at 2-2 with Abby Ramirez waiting on deck.
And that's what we're talking about, the battles, being able to foul off 2-strike pitches, just refusing to go down easily. She continues the at-bat now, just getting ready outside of the batter's box before stepping in.
Weisenhofer plays with the rosin bag, now delivers the 2-2 pitch. It's swung on and popped up foul. That one going to bounce off the front end of the press box and back into the bleachers. The count remains 2-2. That pop up toward the right side of the infield. The flag still dormant in center field. No wind here, which has prevented this night from getting any cooler than it already is. 2-2 yet again. Check swing. The pitch not called a strike, called a ball. The appeal down to first base, and she did not go, says first base umpire Tanya Gehrig. That was a close call. I thought she might have gone around from my position down the first base line.
It looked very close to me, but again, the appeal doesn't go either way from home plate or first base, full count.
The full count pitch popped up foul out of play over the screen and beyond the bleachers. The count remains full. Monty has fouled off a few good pitches, keeping this at-bat alive.
And she just continues to do this time and again. It's pretty incredible how many full count at-bats I can think of Lindsay Montemurano having this season alone, and the battles that she has with pitchers, waiting for something good.
The 3-2 swing and a drive. Way back left center field. That one going to bounce off the wall. Monty cruises into second with a stand-up double. An absolute rocket off of her bat. A laser up the left center field cap. No chance for Valpo. It's an RBI double.
And what can I say? Those long at-bats, the full count, working it, continuing to foul off pitches until she gets just the right pitch to square up. And that one bounces up off the wall for the second double of the inning, brings Christner around to score, and the Wolverines double their lead to 2-0 here in the bottom of the second.
That pitch up around her letters, but she caught all of it, hit it as hard as you can hit a ball. Too much of a line drive to clear the fences. The first pitch, a called strike to Abby Ramirez right down the heart of the plate, about knee high. Good piece of hitting from Montemurano. She is now in scoring position, the top of the lineup on deck.
Continuing the inning with 2 outs, just doing what she has to do, grinding it out for the Wolverines. Lindsay Montemurano, can't speak highly enough of her on second base.
So 0-1 pitch grounded back up the middle. That's a base hit. Monty will take the turn and head home. Ramirez at first base with an RBI single back up the middle. And just like that, Michigan a 2-out rally. They lead this one 3-0 over Valparaiso.
And another good hit from Abby Ramirez. That one just getting under the extended glove of Weisenhofer. Didn't have enough time to get down on it, and it squirts right into center field. Montemurano thinking home all the way out there with 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring her around for the second run of the inning, third run of the game for the Wolverines.
Here comes the top of the lineup. The first pitch to Sierra Lawrence. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. Home-plate umpire Brian Smith, I'd say, has been pretty generous with that outside area. Lawrence a pop out to second in her first at-bat. This is the second time through the lineup. Weisenhofer better figure things out quickly as Sierra Romero's on deck. The 0-1 pitch, a fastball misses low and away for ball 1.
The only thing worse than facing Sierra Romero is facing Sierra Romero with runners on base and nowhere to put her. Lawrence trying to get on base and make this situation even more difficult for Weisenhofer.
The 1-1 pitch on its way. Check swing. Runner goes down to second. The throw in time. They got Abby Ramirez. She had a late jump. And just like that, the Michigan rally dies, but not until after they record 2 runs, taking a 3-0 lead into the top of the 3rd inning. What do you think of the decision to steal there?
Well, I don't think it was an awful decision to send Ramirez. I think it was a really poor jump, poor base running from Ramirez. She didn't get out of there until the ball was well out of the hand of Weisenhofer. Didn't give herself a good opportunity to get down to second base. And an excellent throw by Stewart right in there as Moreno able to apply the tag. I think it was a nice play by Valparaiso and poor base running from Abby Ramirez. Not so much the call. And Carol Hutchins letting Abby Ramirez know back on the way to the dugout her displeasure with her poor jump, as Carol Hutchins will so often do if you are not spot on in your play.
You know, I always question the judgment of a manager who sends a runner with one of the best hitters in the lineup at the plate. It's just like when the Tigers send a runner with Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Sure, you know, it's good to get runners in scoring position for your better hitters, but at the same time, it just gives the pitcher the option of putting the runner on first base. It kind of takes the game out of the hands of your hitters, putting it in the hands of the runners. And to be fair, almost every time Michigan tries to steal a base, they steal that base. So the execution was poor, and Ramirez has faced some criticism for that. But at the same time, I don't necessarily love the decision to send her.
Ramirez was previously 5 for 7 on the season for stolen bases, so that'll bring her to 5 and 8. Again, she's got speed. I just think it was a poor jump off of first base, and I do agree to some extent with you, Morris, about sending runners with 2 outs in the inning, especially with a very good hitter like Sierra Lawrence at the plate. It does kill the 2-out rally, but again, you look at it on the positive side, either she's going to steal the base or you're going to start off Lawrence with a fresh count in the next bottom of the 3rd inning, and you're going to give the Wolverines the top of the lineup to work with.
The lineup now due up for the Valparaiso Crusaders. Hitting first, the first baseman, Brenna Boyle. After her is Lainey Callahan, and then they recycle the top of the lineup in Carly Trepanier. Valparaiso, no runs on no hits, no errors through 2 innings. Betza has struck out 5 through the first 7 batters she's seen. The other 2, one popped out on a bunt to Aiden Falk, and the other, Taylor Nodler, reached base with a walk. That's the lone base runner Valpo has had thus far in the game today. A conference in the circle. All of Michigan's infielders as well as Betza and Falk. Now they retreat, and Brenna Boyle will step into the righty batter's box. Boyle hitting 212 on the season. A 357 OBP when leading off the inning. She's got 2 home runs to go along with 7 RBI. She stands with a wide stance, not a lot of crouch. Back elbow high. The first pitch, fastball, called strike on the outer edge. A check swing from Boyle, but I don't think she really contemplated going around on that heater.
Megan Betza picking up right where she left off, confusing these Valparaiso hitters, not just with the heat, but the way she's able to change eye levels and adjust her speeds accordingly.
The 0-1, fastball misses high for ball 1. Boyle thought about it. She's kind of put forth a check swing on the first 2 pitches of this at-bat, but hasn't put forth an actual swing yet. The count 1-1, the infield and outfield straight away. Betza winds, the pitch on its way. Fastball, called strike at the knees. Right down Broadway, the count moves to 1-2 on Brenna Boyle.
Great pitch there from Megan Betza. Again, changing those eye levels. Try and climb the ladder, and even if Boyle does hold, which she did, then you're looking high again, and instead Megan Betza beats you low at the knees.
1-2 the count. Betza winds, the pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Boyle down on strike. It was a fastball at the knees on the outer edge, and that is number 6 on the game for Megan Betza.
Megan Betza continuing to roll, and now she is at 260 strikeouts on the season, just continuing that torrid pace and doing all the work herself right now. Only 1 out so far, not a strikeout.
The first pitch on its way is a fastball that misses outside to Lainey Callahan. Callahan, the left fielder, hitting 279 on the season, 4 home runs and 16 RBI. Betza takes a step back, checks her armband. Callahan twists the bat and steps back into the righty batter's box. Now Betza comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball called strike at the knees on the outside corner. The count moves to 1-1. Betts getting the benefit of a close call on the outer edge, just as Weisenhofer has gotten throughout her time through the Michigan lineup.
And that's been a really good money pitch for Megan Betts so far. If something's not working, go right back to that lower half of the zone, right at the knees. Good called strike there.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. A big cut and a big pitch. A fastball moving upward through the zone. The count moves to 1-2 on Lainey Callahan.
Did sound like Callahan maybe scraped just a little bit of that ball. Didn't see if home plate umpire Brian Smith did call that it was a foul tip, but it is a strike for sure, and the count is 1-2 now.
That's a winds. Pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Lainey Callahan blown away. Down on strikes. 9 hitters to the plate thus far. 7 of them sent back to the dugout via the strikeout.
She's got one for you for every day of the week. 7 strikeouts on the game now for men. And the streak, it's just incredible how many hitters she is able to put down on her own, just continuing to fan and miss at her stuff.
That brings up Carly Trepanier. The first pitch, fastball misses off the plate, low and away for ball 1. Trepanier struck out on 3 pitches in her first at-bat.
Really set the pace for this Valparaiso lineup the first time through. Again, 9 hitters face 7 strikeouts for Megan Betza.
1-0 the count now on Trepanier. Her average still .338 on the season. The pitch on its way, fastball misses low and in for ball 2. That's seemingly pinpoint for maybe 6 or 7 out of the 9 batters she'll face anytime through the order, but she does let at-bats get away from her from time to time. You just got to kind of take the good or the bad with the incredible good if you are Coach Carol Hutchins. The 2-0 on its way. Breaking ball, swing and a miss from Trepanier. Betts has got confidence in that at any point in the count. The count now 2-1.
That one was just hovering above the plate as well. Very low chase from Trepanier. Could have found herself in a very favorable 3-0 count, but takes a poor cut at that one, and instead 2-1. Drastically different count now.
The pitch on its way. Fastball just misses off the plate inside. Betts showed some displeasure after that call, put her glove in front of her mouth. We can all kind of assume what that means. The count moves to 3-1.
And it was a close pitch, but the outside zone has been more favorable than the inside with Brian Smith behind home plate so far tonight.
3-1. Betza comes set, winds and delivers. Swing and a miss by Trepanier. Another drop ball. That one bounced in front of the plate, but it was just too tempting for Trepanier. To her credit, she's trying to get something done, trying to get that first hit on the board for Valpo.
And she was thinking swing from the time she stepped in the box on a 3-1 pitch. Megan Betza savvy to that and gives her the drop ball to bring the count full.
The payoff pitch, swinging a ground ball towards second. Romero fields on 2 hops, flips to Blanco at first, and that'll do it for Valparaiso in the top of the third. We head to the bottom half, top of the lineup due for the Wolverines. They lead 3-0 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We can take this time to give you a quick update on the record book. Romero already the all-time leader for the Wolverines in runs, RBI, and home runs. She's got 295 career runs, 81 career home runs, 300 career home runs. Also has 216 walks, which is the best all-time. And 297 hits. She is one behind Kelsey Collin for second all-time for the Wolverines. The all-time leader is Tracy Conrad with 345. That's a record that I don't think even Sierra Romero can eclipse.
Meanwhile, no big surprise, the Detroit Tigers down 3-0 to the Tampa Bay Rays, and I continue to just passively watch as that garbage fire continues to burn. They gave you a glimmer of hope and then go ahead and take it right away. Meanwhile, back out in the circle warming up for the Valparaiso Crusaders is Taylor Weisenhofer. Aside from a little bit of a shaky second inning there, has done pretty well so far considering the lineup that she has had to face and the fact that she has already gone through once, giving up just 3 runs to this Wolverines lineup. It doesn't sound great, but you got to think of who she's facing, and that is somewhat impressive at that.
Now comes the real test because Weisenhofer held the lion's share of the work throughout the Horizon League tournament. She may have to go all the way against these Wolverines. I'm not sure any options out of the pen are going to be much better for the Valparaiso Crusaders.
Circle meeting for the Crusaders before this inning gets underway. Sierra Lawrence will lead off the inning. She was at bat to end the last inning, but Abby Ramirez was caught trying to steal second base, so Lawrence will get herself a fresh count. And the top of the lineup, 1, 2, 3 for the Wolverines. Lawrence, Romero,
and Tara Blanco.
And then Tara Blanco. Sorry, the lineup switch has got me a little bit thrown here so far today. That circle meeting took a good minute and a half to 2 minutes. Not sure what was said, but Weisenhofer is now ready in the circle to get the bottom of the third inning underway.
Weisenhofer back in the circle. She winds the first pitch, swinging a ground ball over to short on 2 hops. It's fielded there by Moreno. She fires across to Boyle. 1 pitch, 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines to start the bottom of the third inning.
Not a great at bat there from Lawrence, continuing a little bit of a cold streak at the plate, looking for something to get them going in that leadoff spot. 0 for 2 on the evening now.
That's going to bring up Romero, a home run to right center fielder first at bat. The first pitch, a fastball, misses high for ball 1. And I'll tell you, I'm not a betting man, but I would bet money that Sierra Romero is getting a free pass in this at bat.
Or at least dancing around the strike zone. No way that Weisenhofer goes right back at her down the zone.
The 1-0 fastball called strike on the outer half shows what I know. The count moves to 1-1.
Maybe Romero will see something good to hit. Not sure if that was planned there from Weisenhofer, if she wanted to hit the outside zone, or maybe that one accidentally came in a little too far. Could have been dangerous if Romero brought the bat around.
The 1-1 fastball misses low for ball 2. The count 2-1 on Sierra Romero. She's got a .591 on base percentage. She got on base in, I think, 3 out of her 5 at-bats against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, maybe even 4 out of 5. She was very good in that game. The 2-1 fastball misses high for ball 3.
And now I think you will see nothing but outside pitching with the bases empty for Sierra Romero to take a bag and avoid that bat again. Took Weisenhofer deep in her first at bat on a line drive shot.
The 3-1 pitch, fastball misses high for ball 4, and that was right after all. Romero down to first base with a 1-out walk.
Had to do her damage when she had the chance. Now she will most likely be pitched around for the rest of this game, provided that there are bases to put her on.
That'll bring up Tara Blanco, struck out in her last at-bat. She has a chance to punish this Valpo team for pitching around the hitter in front of her. The first pitch, swinging a pop-up, right field toward the line. Shading over is the right fielder, Ranieri, and she makes the catch, tagging from first. Heading to second is Romero, overslides the base, but pokes the bag with her right foot and gets in there safely.
Very gutsy play there from Sierra Romero, but good base running. Ranieri was tracked all the way into foul territory, coming the wrong way over to her left, and had to make a strong throw back across the right shoulder to get into second base. And Romero is safe by just a bit, and she did overslide, but again, had that right leg sticking out to catch the bag as her hand slid by.
That's going to bring up Kelsey Susel. The first pitch, a fastball misses low for ball 1. You know, one would think there'd be nothing to it, but maybe the switch in the lineup spot has messed with Blanco's psyche just a little bit. You know, she's not putting the kinds of swings we're accustomed to from her on the ball today. 1-0 the count. Weisenhofer winds. Pitch comes in and hits Kelsey Susella on her leg. She scampers down to first base. Looking no worse for wear. The hit by pitch puts 2 on with 2 out for Aiden Falk.
Didn't even flinch as she trots down to first base and hands off her elbow protector to Bonnie Thole in her perch on the first base side. Bonnie Thole asking if it hit her on her right leg. It looked like on the outside part of her ankle.
Falk hit it hard her first at bat. The first pitch, big swing and a miss from the sophomore lefty. Falk flied out to the warning track in center field. That one on the first pitch of her at bat. Her average drops to 301. She's been hitting around 400 in Big Ten play, however. The 0-1 pitch, fastball misses high and outside. Falk takes for ball 1. The count moves to 1-1. 2 on, 2 outs for the Wolverines. They lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the third. Weisenhofer toys with the rosin bag, now steps back on the rubber. She looks in. The 1-1 pitch, fastball misses high. The count moves to 2-1 on Aiden Falk.
has not tried to climb the ladder much at all this evening, has Weisenhofer, and tried to do it there on Aiden Falk, but Falk kept that bat shouldered and a good eye, gets her ahead in the count now 2-1.
Weisenhofer on the rubber, comes to the plate. The 2-1 pitch swung on, popped up foul off the top of the screen behind home plate and back down into the dirt. The count moves to 2-2. Twos across the board. Aiden Falk, number 2 at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on for the Michigan catcher.
The Stars have aligned for Aiden Falk as Weisenhofer is in the circle ready.
The pitch, swing and a pop-up. Shallow center field. This should do it for the Wolverines in the inning. Lawson settles under it and makes the easy catch right on the big M in dead center field. The Wolverines put a couple runners on but failed to score in the bottom of the third. We head to the top of the fourth. Michigan leading the Valparaiso Crusaders 3-0 on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We thank you so much if you've tuned in for this one.
And again, I think that inning is an entirely different tune if Tara Blanco is hitting in form. That out was a major out for the Wolverines in that inning, and a good job by Weisenhofer to attack her and produce a poor swing out of Blanco, but not on top of her game. And again, the whole complexion of that inning changes if she is able to put something a little bit harder into play or even get herself on base. And these Wolverine hitters have a little bit of up and down going recently. It hasn't been so much sustained success for every single player. Just trying to adjust every single game. Somebody brings something good, and every single game it seems like that player in the following game will be a little bit down. And it's just been a bit of fluctuation as we head into the postseason here for the Wolverines. Again, they had an 18-game winning streak going into the championship game of that Big Ten tournament before that 10-inning loss to Minnesota. So just trying to regain a little bit of what they had during that win streak that brought them into the deep postseason. Heading into the stuff that really matters now. Again, they do put on the outfield scoreboard the Big Ten regular season championship years. They do not put the years in which they've won the Big Ten tournament championship. So not too much harm done. Won't stick on the scoreboard out in left field, but the regular season championship will indeed.
And I think that, it must be kind of hedged that any criticism we make of the Wolverines hitters comes because our expectations are just so high because of the standards that they have set throughout their torrid pace throughout the regular season. Going 1 game without a hit, going 2 games without a hit, it's normal for most hitters, but for the Wolverines who, regularly have multiple hitters hitting over 400 in the lineup, naturally those go down as slumps because that's as bad as it gets for some of these hitters, which it really says something about the quality of the program Carol Hutchins is running here at the U of M.
One of, if not the most respected college softball coach in history, Carol Hutchins in her 30-plus seasons has built a behemoth here in Ann Arbor with this Wolverine softball program. That 2005 national championship, the crown jewel of her accomplishments, trying to take yet another team back to the College World Series last year, ended in bitter disappointment against the Florida Gators. Trying to put up another year in the outfield. That 2005, I should say, looks awfully lonely. A 2016 would look pretty good paired up next to it.
The 2-3-4 hitters starting things off for Valpo here in the top of the 4th inning. That's Taylor Lawson, followed by Sam Stewart and Caitlin Ranieri. The first pitch, Lawson squares the bunt, pulls back. The fastball misses low for ball 1 from Megan Betza, who has thrown 3 innings, given up a walk, and struck out 7. The infield way in for the Michigan Wolverines. The outfield in as well. Betza comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a tapper in front of home. Blanco Fields fires to first. Not in time. Essentially a swinging bunt down the first base line from Taylor Lawson. And that's the first hit of the game for the Valparaiso Crusaders.
Yeah, got about as on top of a pitch as you can possibly get. Had enough topspin to stay in play. And that's a difficult play for anybody. I think even if Tara Blanco was standing in bunt position on that first base line, it would have been a difficult play at that. And
that's going to bring up Sam Stewart on first base. Lawson a threat to go. The first pitch, swing and a miss. Lawson a big secondary. Falk looks her back. Lawson 22 stolen bases in 23 attempts on the season.
Valparaiso trying to do something with that first hit of the game, especially with none out in the inning. Sam Stewart trying to keep it brewing for the Crusaders here in the fourth.
That's a winds. The 0-1 pitch to Stewart. Fastball misses low for ball one. The count moves to 1-1. The outfield shifted slightly toward the opposite field, I would say. Christner shaded toward the left center field gap on the righty power hitter, Stewart.
Still bright outside here in Ann Arbor, just a bit overcast. The lights are beaming down on Alumni Field.
The 1-1. Fastball misses low for ball two.
Tried to get Stewart to chase again. Megan Betza today especially trying to get hitters to chase either high or low. Not so much speed in the fastball department right down the middle, but it has been there when she's needed it.
2-1 the count on Stewart. Look for the runner on first to go here in Lawson. The pitch on its way. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. The count moves to 3-1. And you know, she might not have to steal a base if Megan Betza put Sam Stewart on first via the free pass.
Quick conference here now at the top of the circle between Sierra Romero and Megan Betza, as Stewart takes some practice cuts over on the third base side.
Betza talking to Sierra Romero, and Romo likes to come into the circle and talk with her pitcher on the mound. I'd say she's the only infielder that really does that. Sometimes Tara Blanco will come in and have some words, but these players do look to Sierra Romero for leadership.
In all aspects of the game, just trying to settle Megan Betza down here in the 3-1 count.
Betza winds. The pitch on its way. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Should stay in play. Montemurano has room on the left side, and she makes the catch. Betza bailed out by a 3-1 count pop-out in foul ground by Sam Stewart for the first out of the inning for Valparaiso.
Stewart will head back to the dugout, kicking herself for taking that 3-1 pitch, wasting it foul down the third base line. Spoiling a lot of opportunity here for the Valparaiso Crusaders. With a runner on first with their first hit of the game, unable to advance the runner.
Now Ranieri hitting .279 on the season, 5 home runs, 28 RBI. The first pitch, breaking ball grounded softly towards second. Romero fields, makes the tag, fires the first. It's a double play for the Wolverines. And they escape that inning. Another scoreless one. We head to the bottom of the fourth. The Wolverines lead 3-0 after the defensive brilliance from Sierra Romero.
How often do you see a 4-3 double play? The base runner right in front of Romero as she's able to apply the tag on Lawson for the easy out. And then the quick toss over to first results in the double play to end the inning. Great work in the field by Sierra Romero. And the Valparaiso Crusaders unable to do anything with their first hit of the game as we head to the bottom of the fourth now.
I'd like to take this moment to plug some of WCBN's own podcasts, the two that are currently active at this point, the Show and Riding the Pine with Dalton Pataki and the Bench Warmers, all quality sports talk. We actually talked softball on the most recent episode of Riding the Pine. You can find both of those on SoundCloud and on iTunes. Again, if you want to hear us of WCBN Sports as well as outside guests talk about the wide world of sports, be sure to give those a listen, a like, a rating, a subscribe, whatever you feel.
And also be sure, if you are in the Ann Arbor area, to tune in to our now bi-weekly summer show on 88.3 WCBN FM, Mondays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:30. We've got the Power Hour twice a week, bringing you Michigan sports and the outside world. And it is a good slot for us this summer. I like the 2-day-a-week setup, getting the full hour to talk sports. You now get those cool half-hour in-between intermissions, get to play a little bit of song selection. So if you do tune in and you do have a song selection, we also have the opportunity to call in now and request what you want to hear, request what you want to talk about. Phone lines are always open. And WCBN, again, always interested in engaging our fans as we head into the future and further towards world domination, especially in the sports world.
The Wolverines looking to further their domination here in this game. Leading off will be Kelly Christner. She hit a double back in the second inning, was brought home on a Lindsay Montemurano RBI double into the left center field gap. Christner will be followed by Faith Canfield and then Montemurano. The bottom of this lineup engineered that rally back in the second inning. They have done the majority of the damage today, and now the second time through the lineup against Weisenhofer. looking to do some more. Weisenhofer thus far 3 innings pitched, 4 hits surrendered, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and 3 earned runs. The first pitch to Christner, swinging a pop-up foul, headed back toward the backstop, and it's caught by the catcher, Sam Stewart. 1 pitch, 1 out to start the inning for the Wolverines. That's the second time they've made the first out of the inning on the first pitch.
The bat's just not so in tune. And I complained a lot about it throughout that Big Ten tournament, swinging early in the count at poor pitches, not waiting to see what Weisenhofer is offering, not getting comfortable in your counts before you swing. And it's produced a lot of early outs for the Wolverines and has spoiled a lot of opportunity at the plate.
The first pitch to Canfield, fastball misses high for ball 1. Would you say that they're not seeing what she's Weisenhofering?
I'm going to ignore that. We're just going to move further on in the at-bat with Faith Canfield. Although I do like the play on words there, Morris. I will give you that.
Swing and a high fly ball tracking toward the track in left field, but it is caught in the gap by Lainey Callahan. A big pop off the bat of Canfield, but she got just a bit too much under it for a fly out, the second out of the inning. And Callahan had a little trouble with that one, going toward that left center field gap.
And we saw it last week in State College as these lights start to beam down on the field. The Michigan and Minnesota outfielders alike both losing fly balls in the lights, and just looks a little bit silly, but a good job by Callahan to keep an eye on that one and make the catch.
First pitch to Lindsey Montemurano. Again, a fly ball, this one to left field. Routine play for Callahan. She settles under it and makes the catch. I think that was either a 4 or 5 pitch inning for the Wolverines. No runs, obviously. We head to the top of the 5th. At the very least, it's pushing the game along, but you're not getting the run support you want. Michigan leading 3-0 over the Valparaiso Crusaders here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
And again, if Michigan is to go on and win this game, they're going to have to face a Miami Redhawks team that only gave up 2 runs this afternoon to a very strong Notre Dame Fighting Irish lineup. So these bats need to be awake tomorrow if they are to face the Miami Redhawks, or even if they do wind up losing this one and play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the loser bracket game tomorrow. It's going to be a tough go of it if they continue to swing at the first and second pitch in every at-bat and continue to put not great swings on the ball, not really square it up and produce very easy outs for their opponents. And we saw it in that championship game. We're seeing a lot of it again here today, but they've been bailed out so far by a couple of doubles in the Romero line drive home run that has them at a 3-1 or a 3-0 advantage.
Quick update for you, Jeremy, because I know you care. The Tigers have tied the game on the strength of Miguel Cabrera 2-run homer to the opposite field. Now tied with the Rays 3-3 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Talk to me once we get into the 9th inning. That's when I start to believe that the Tigers actually have a lead.
K-Rod's been a solid closer this year. He's like the only constant on
That's why I can't believe it until we get to the 9th inning, because I've seen 8-run leads disappear. Namely, last week, I believe we were up 8-0, and the Tigers blew that one, made it 8-7, and I think somehow managed to pull out a 9-8 win against the Rays. It's been ridiculous. I also saw today that that Brad Ausmus sweatshirt and hat that he left on home plate when he got ejected last week are currently up for auction, currently at $3,400, I believe.
Leading things off for Valparaiso to start things off, Taylor Nodler. Nodler reached base on a walk in her most recent at-bat, I believe. Stat broadcast has it a little off, but she did indeed reach on a walk. She'll be followed by Georgie Calaveras and then Stephanie Moreno. Valparaiso, 1 hit on the game, that an infield jam shot off the end of the bat of Taylor Lawson. She was erased on the double play by Ranieri back at the end of the 4th inning. Betsa winds, the first pitch on its way to the lefty. Nodler has swung on and missed. Nodler pulled her head out of there. Big swing. Could feel the breeze from it up here. The count 0-1.
Betsa still continuing her role here so far tonight. 7 strikeouts has just made mincemeat of this Valparaiso lineup through 4.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss on the drop ball. 0-2 is the count. Nodler has looked totally off balance throughout this at-bat.
That's it, taking her time and checking her armband. Keeping very in tune with Aiden Falk behind the plate, has not needed to go to the armband very much so far this evening.
0-2 the count. Betsa comes set. She winds. The pitch Fastball misses high for ball one. We all know what Betza was thinking there, trying to climb the ladder for another swinging K, but Nodler is onto her tricks. The count 1-2.
Not biting, not fishing on that one. Betza comes back with the heater or the drop here.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. You Betza came in with the drop ball, the 8th strikeout on the day for Megan Betza, and it just rolls on. Megan Betza unhittable.
It's so formulaic. You'll never see two of the same pitch in a row, and there's really three major options. She's either going to try and get you to chase high, low, or come at you with speed, and it's normally the first of those two options, high and low.
The first pitch to Georgie Calambaris misses high with the fastball for ball one. Calambaris struck out swinging in her first at-bat on the game. I'm not sure there are many other options other than coming in high, low, or with speed. I guess the off speed, but
it tends to stay over the plate, I guess is what I was saying as well.
Fair. The 1-0 pitch, fastball, called strike at the knees. Brilliantly spotted there from Megan Betza on the inner half for strike one. The count moves to 1-1.
Although that outside edge has been pretty beneficial from home plate umpire Brian Smith so far tonight, Betza hasn't really used it as much as Weisenhofer has, and again, just keeping a lot of it over the plate, just changing the eye levels.
The 1-1 pitch, fastball, looked to spot it at the knees again, but this one dropped just a bit low. The count moves to 2-1 on Georgie Calambaris. Calambaris now hitting .206 on the year. She stands with her back, her hips twisted backward. A lot of crouch, just waiting to uncoil on the pitch. The 2-1 on its way. Drop ball just misses off the plate outside. A close pitch, but did not find the zone. The count moves to 3-1 on Calambaris.
Another good pitcher's pitch, but a better eye by Calambaris to not go there and get herself a favorable hitter's count at 3-1. We've seen Valparaiso spoil a few 3-1 counts. Calambaris trying to change the fortunes here on 3-1 again.
The 3-1 on its way. Fastball swinging a soft line drive. Fielded on one hop by Romero at second base. Flips it over to Blanco at first. More of a sidearm fire. And that'll be the second out of the inning.
And a good job by Romero to stay in front of it. It had a lot of spin on it. Was liable to jump in that dirt any direction, but she got it right as it popped up on the dirt and made the strong throw over to first.
She kept it simple. Didn't get happy feet out there. In fact, didn't even move her feet toward first base before she made that throw. That's going to bring up Stephanie Moreno. The first pitch, fastball, big cut and a miss from the sophomore shortstop. Moreno 0 for 1 also with a strikeout on the game today. That's it with 8 strikeouts, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit and 1 walk surrendered. The 0-1 on its way from Betza. Fastball misses low and away. The count moves to 1-1.
Moreno's now struck out 31 times on the season, trying to avoid yet another K here against the K queen herself, Megan Betza.
Betza walks back, now walks onto the rubber. Comes set, working quickly. The 1-1 on its way to Moreno. A bunt attempt and popped it up behind home plate and into the screen. A really awkward-looking bunt. Looked half-hearted, like she didn't really want to go around on it, but convinced herself to at the last second.
And the really only good bunt play was the actual full swing from Lawson that got down like a bunt. These Valparaiso hitters have been unable to square up a bunt properly all game long, and it's been plaguing them at the plate.
1-2 the count. Betza comes set. She winds. The pitch. Swing and a foul back to the screen. I thought that was going to be strike 3. The pitch was so high. To Moreno's credit, she managed to get a piece of a pitch at her shoulders.
Came back up top with that swing and takes a second outside of the batter's box to just take a little bit more of a practice cut on that follow through there. Trying to square it up off Megan Betza.
Betza, the 1-2 pitch yet again. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Moreno goes down looking, and Valpo goes down yet again without a run. Still scoreless on their end. Michigan with 3 runs. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Michigan a 3-0 lead here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
It's been fast. It's been efficient for Megan Betza. She'll most likely get out of this game under 100 pitches if we only go 7 innings, and that'll leave her arm very fresh for the rest of this regional. liable to see Sarah Driesinga start the game for the Wolverines tomorrow. But again, the fewer pitches Megan Betza throws, the more likely you are to see her as a relief option or even start another game if the Wolverines need her quickly in tomorrow's action.
Yeah, we've seen Driesinga used as a reliever primarily in the Big Ten tournament. Did a great job against Penn State when Betza seemingly lost control for a while, but then came in her first inning, the bottom of the 10th against Minnesota, gave up a rally, though wasn't really her fault. The errors behind her really are what did Michigan in.
That is true, and what didn't go down in the error column for both Michigan and Minnesota could easily be chalked up several more times with just miscues and poor decision-making on both sides. It was not the most technically sound game of softball we've ever seen played. In fact, it was one of the least technically sound games I've ever seen this Michigan team play, and they're now trying to rebound, doing an all right job so far, but still a 3-0 lead, you would think. Not enough for Carol Hutchins and her Wolverines, again facing just an 18-32 Valparaiso Crusaders team who, by all accounts, are happy to be here in this regional after winning out through the Horizon League tournament.
Lauren Connell and Tara Blanco leading the stands, and a wave, then a slow motion wave, and then a fast motion wave. We got it all the way around every time. This crowd is into it. They're feeling it. They've watched this Michigan team hold on to this 3-0 lead. Valpo hasn't really been able to put forward anything threatening thus far. Only 2 base runners. Abby Ramirez will lead things off for the Wolverines. She'll be followed by the top of the lineup in Sierra Lawrence and Sierra Romero. Ramirez, an RBI ground ball single back up the middle in her last at-bat. Her only at-bat of the game thus far. The trivia question, just so we can get around to it. The trivia question on today is a simple one. Sarah Driesinga, Megan Betza, 2 of the top 4 in Michigan history in saves. Who is the all-time Michigan leader in saves? That is the trivia question for today. The first pitch to Ramirez from the lefty. Weisenhofer misses high for ball 1.
If you know who the all-time Michigan leader in saves is, feel free to tweet it at us or comment on our YouTube video. You will get on-air fame and glory for listeners, and it will be enshrined in history on the internet forever.
The 1-0 pitch misses low for ball 2. Weisenhofer again in with the fastball. The leader in saves, 17 total on her career. It is a save situation today, so perhaps that will become a topic of contention. The 2-0 line back up the middle. A ground ball single for Abby Ramirez. Swung on a pitch above her shoulders and knocked it on the ground past the shortstop Moreno.
So nice, she had to do it twice. 2 singles right up the middle for Abby Ramirez. She's having herself a little bit of a game here, keeping it at 1,000 on the day. 2 singles and an RBI to her credit. Gets Michigan going here in the bottom of the 5th. And to Weisenhofer's credit, has done a very good job with this Michigan lineup after a shaky 2-run second inning. The third was pretty simple for her, kept the Wolverines off the board, and then a 4-pitch 4th inning was easy breezy.
That's going to bring up Sierra Lawrence. She takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. She's 0 for 2 on the game, and this marks Sierra Lawrence's 700th career at-bat at the University of Michigan. The senior center fielder is at a very strong conclusion to her career, looking to help this team go just a bit further. The 0-1 swing and a chopper past the third baseman, Kellen Barris, and into left field. It's a no-out single. It'll move up Ramirez to second base. Kellen Barris way in over there at third base. Didn't respect the pull power of Sierra Lawrence and paid the price for her positioning.
Well, she had her played at charge distance down that third base line, and that chopper hit right in front of her glove and was able to get enough air underneath it to bounce up above the leather and into center, or into left field, I should say, for the second single of the inning. Still none out. Runners on first and second now with the most dangerous hitter on the team at the plate.
Romero takes the fastball on the outside corner. I think Romero would question that was on the outside corner, but a called strike 1. Romero 1 for 1 with a solo home run and a first, a walk back in the third inning. Weisenhofer winds. The 0-1 pitch popped up down the right field line, foul. That's going to make its way out of play toward the front of the Michigan bullpen. The count quickly 0-2 on Sierra Romero. Romero, 74 RBI, 18 home runs on the season. 2 on, nobody out. Weisenhofer looks in. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses way off the plate away. Good stop by the catcher, Sam Stewart, lunging to her right. The count moves to 1-2.
And as a pitcher, you've got to be in an interesting position. If you're up in the count 0-2 on Sierra Romero, it's a rare spot, but how close do you try and get her to chase before you start to veer out of that zone a little bit more?
The 1-2 fastball, again, low and away, nowhere near the strike zone. The count moves to 2-2 on Romero. Tara Blanco, who is 0 for 2 on the game, awaits on deck, followed by Kelsey Susala. The most dangerous part of the lineup, Weisenhofer navigating with runners on base. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a line drive, base hit back up the middle. Ramirez waves around third. She will score without a throw. It's an RBI single for Sierra Romero, her second RBI of the game, and Michigan now leads 4-0 over the Valpo Crusaders.
Absolutely laced that one right back into center field. Had it been hit a little bit softer, Lawrence might have had an opportunity to round second and head for third, but she stays planted on second base, so runners still on first and second with none out, and the Wolverines now with a 4-0 lead, looking to push it a little bit further.
And with that hit, Romero now tied for second all-time on the Michigan Wolverines in career hits with Kelsey Collin at 298. The first pitch to Blanco, ground ball, base hit through the left side. Lawrence held up at third base. The base is now juiced, and the game-ending run comes to the plate in Kelsey Susala. Blanco went after that first pitch. Michigan has not had much success with it, but Blanco did, grounding it past a diving Callum Barris.
Wolverines finally showing their true colors, breaking the bats out and getting to Weisenhofer. It looks like we're having a conference on the mound. I'm going to assume that it is head coach Kate Stake out there to talk to Taylor Weisenhofer. I don't think she signaled for a pitching change yet. Speaking to her pitcher and the entirety of her team, the outfield has even come into this circle meeting. And it's a quick one as she already is headed back to the dugout. She's going to leave Taylor Weisenhofer in the game to try and get out of this bases loaded, none out jam, and she's already given up a run on the inning.
This Michigan team, 7 grand slams on the year thus far. The all-time team record, 11, set in 2014. This team's record, 4th, tied for 4th among the all-time team records. The first pitch from Weisenhofer, fastball misses low for ball 1. You know, you can't really predict a grand slam, but at the same time, this lineup has seen a lot of Taylor Weisenhofer. They've gotten better each time through. Well, maybe not. They did a little better the first time through than the second time. The 1-0 pitch, fastball called strike on the outside corner, about belt high. The count moves to 1-1.
A Susala long ball would end this game. Again, it is an 8-run mercy rule through 5 innings. Wolverines are up 4-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Bases loaded with none out. Susala is in that 4-hole today.
Swing and a line drive caught by the second baseman. The throw to the first. The first base not in time. Great play from Trepanier. The throw to first, I think they got Blanco, but the first base ump, Tanya Gehrig, saw it otherwise. I was pretty sure that throw got there before her hand got in.
I had a direct look at it, was staring at first base the whole time. It looked the same way to me. Tanya Gehrig not in a good position between first and second base to look back, but the Valparaiso fans here on the first base side standing up, protesting the call, but to no avail.
The first pitch to Aiden Falk, she fouls it off her front foot for strike 1. Falk 2 flyouts to center field and 2 at-bats. So Michigan unlucky in that the ball was hit hard but directly at the second baseman Trepanier, but lucky in that they get saved by a questionable call by Tanya Gehrig, the first base ump. 1 out, the bases remain juiced for Falk. Falk hitting .385 with the bases loaded this season.
Chance of Go Blue ringing out through Alumni Field here. It is a sellout crowd. We do have the alumni band in the outfield grandstands. I'm assuming they will be here all weekend long for Michigan's games. And this stadium will be sold out for the entirety of the weekend. And again, be sure to tune in with us tomorrow. There is no Big Ten Network coverage.
The 0-1 pitch line. That one's going to drop into center field for a base hit. Romero waved around third. The throw home, not in time. She slides in safely. 2-run score on the single for Aiden Falk. What an aggressive call by Coach Hutchins down at third base.
And she was well safe at home, but it took that immediate call by Carol Hutchins, the immediate instinct to send Romero. No hesitation jumping off of second base as she comes all the way around to score on the single. And it was poor base running by Aiden Falk. She took a huge turn around first, but there was nobody to cover the bag. So the catcher, Stewart, standing with the ball and nobody to throw down to at first. So Falk was able to just walk back as Bonnie Thole giving her an earful. But the Wolverines now just 2 runs away from ending this with a 6-0 lead.
And now we see 2 pinch runners for the Wolverines. On second base now is Mary Sabonik, and over at first base, Olivia Richvalski. That ball hung up for a while. The center fielder Lawson had to wait on it to drop, so she couldn't get much on the throw. Had to relay it to the shortstop Moreno. But when Moreno received the cutoff throw, it looked like Romero was just barely around third base. She just has so much speed, covered the ground in no time, and beat the throw with ease. And, you know, Falk, I guess she has the license to take that big of a turn, because when a ball is hit to center field, you never really know whether the third baseman or first baseman is going to be the cutoff on the infield, especially with the pitcher going to back up the play, presumably behind home plate. Bit of chaos in the infield. All it took for Michigan to take 2.
Coming into pitch now for the Valparaiso Crusaders, Ashlyn Montgomery. Will get you her stat line here in just a second as soon as we're able to pull up those stats. Montgomery on the season, a 6.07 ERA. She's 2-2 in the win-loss column. Opponents are hitting a blistering 339 against her. It's been a rough go of it in the circle for Montgomery, but she's got her work cut out for her with runners on first and second with 1 out. Michigan trying to put 2 more runs across here in the bottom of the 5th inning for a mercy rule victory. Montgomery is going to be her job here to take responsibility for those runners on first and second and get the Crusaders out of the bottom of the 5th and give them an opportunity to cut back into it in the top of the 6th.
At the plate, looking to end this game for the Wolverines, Kelly Christner, the left fielder. Christner 1 for 2 on the day with a double and a foul out behind home plate. She'll be the first batter faced by the righty Montgomery. Probably a bit of a sigh of relief. Now she gets that righty-lefty matchup with Faith Canfield on deck. The wind, the delivery, the fastball misses low and away for ball 1 to Kelly Christner.
In 40 1/3 innings pitched for Montgomery, she's given up 35 earned runs, 51 total runs. She's been hit off of pretty well by opposing hitters.
The 1-0 fastball also misses off the plate outside. The count moves to 2-0. The game-ending run on first base is Richvalski. It is Nikki Wald, my mistake, not Mary Sabonik, down at second, the pinch runner for Tara Blanco. The 2-0 pitch, Christner backs out of the way, and it's a ball off the plate inside. The count moves to 3-0 on Kelly Christner.
An admissible mistake. It's always going to be one of those 3 pinch running, Richvalski, Wald, or Sabonik.
Christner moves toward the back of the box. The 3-0 pitch misses low for ball 4. The base is now loaded for Faith Canfield. The game-ending run moves to second base. Still 1 out, and Ashlyn Montgomery has got to find the strike zone soon.
And Canfield lost her spot in the starting lineup in the championship game of the Big Ten tournament, trying to prove that she belongs in that starting lineup. Would give the Wolverines an early run rule victory here if she's able to put the runners on second and third across.
Montgomery looks in to her catcher. The first pitch misses low for ball 1. Sam Stewart didn't even try to frame that one. The count 1-0 on Canfield. Canfield 0 for 2 on today's game. A pop out to second and a fly out to left in her 2 at-bats. While we have the moment, a conference in the circle between the catcher Stewart and the pitcher Montgomery. I'd like to thank our I-team on today's game. Eli Sherman and Dalton Pataki behind us. They showed up. They didn't get paid. They got paid in snacks, to be fair. They ate very well. So that is, I guess, adequate compensation for a college kid.
And they will be on the non-Michigan calls tomorrow. If you are a Valparaiso fan, be able to hear them tomorrow afternoon.
The 1-0 pitch misses in the dirt for ball 2 on Canfield. Also like to thank, yet again, Josh from TKA, ever so generous with his stats. One of the biggest fans of Michigan softball that there is, incredibly knowledgeable about the game, and a huge help to all of our broadcasts. 2-0 the count on Canfield. Montgomery winds. Fastball misses off the plate inside. The count moves to 3-0.
And nowhere to put Canfield. Another ball would walk in the Wolverines' 7th run of the game, and that's going to lead to another circle meeting. A different assistant coach coming out to the circle this time. I think that may be Claire Bukowski, their graduate manager, judging by her brown straight hair, according to the coaches' photos that we have from their website. She is their graduate manager, if that is in fact Claire Bukowski.
I mean, it's either her or the head coach, Kate Stake, but yeah, for the life of me, I have no clue. It's not the primary part of our scouting report. 3-0 the count on Faith Canfield. One more ball and a run will score. Canfield will likely be taking all the way. Montgomery winds the pitch, fastball called strike. That one on the outer half of the plate. Canfield taking all the way.
Still, never have I ever seen a Michigan Wolverines hitter under Carol Hutchins swing on a 3-0 pitch, and that stays consistent. That's one of the few things that you will always know with this team.
The 3-1 fastball misses high for ball 4. Canfield down to first base, an RBI walk, and now the game-ending run 60 feet away at third base in Nikki Wald as Lindsay Montemorano comes to the plate.
Another circle meeting again. The infield just trying to urge Montgomery to get something here to end the inning or produce some kind of an out.
Ramirez led off the inning, if I'm not mistaken, with a single. She sits on deck. She will not get to hit if Montemorano gets a hit or at least gets the run home. The first pitch on its way, misses low for ball 1. Monty twists out of the way, almost hit her in the foot, which would have ended the game. The infield obviously in for the Crusaders. The outfield also a few steps in from their normal spots.
Nearly the very anticlimactic walk-off hit by pitch, coupled with a equally anticlimactic walk-off walk.
The 1-0 pitch misses in the dirt. The count moves to 2-0. You know, they call, in the major leagues, they call the walk-off walk shrimp. It is due to this YouTube video of a shrimp on the treadmill, and it's just walking with all its legs churning and stuff. That, of course, would be a walk-off with no mercy rule. This is a different kind of walk-off, but we're 2 balls away from shrimp is what I'm trying to say.
There you go. I might go get some shrimp after this game, maybe a little shrimp cocktail. Sounds pretty good right about now.
Well, you know, at this point, it'd be shellfish with Montemorano to swing when we are 2 balls away from shrimp. Did you catch that, Jeremy?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just making sure. 2-0, the pitch on its way. Fastball misses low. The count moves to 3-0 on Lindsay Montemorano.
1 ball away from a run rule victory here for the Wolverines. Montgomery has to put this one over the plate.
3-0 the count. The base is loaded. Michigan a 7-0 lead. Montgomery winds and delivers, and the fastball splits the plate for a called strike 1. Just like the Canfield, Montgomery gets behind in the count and then comes back in with a fastball for a called strike. Montemorano most likely will be allowed to swing in this situation.
Monty not going to be too picky here.
The 3-1 pitch misses outside for ball 4. Montemorano down to first base. That is indeed a walk-off walk, and the Wolverines take home the victory, 8-0 on the strength of a 5-run 5th inning. It's an anticlimax, sure, but it earns a dominant win for the Wolverines and for Megan Betza. Gets them a little rest heading into tomorrow's doubleheader.
And the bats were pretty mild through the first 4 innings. It really took a 5-run outburst here in the bottom of the 5th to get the Wolverines the early run rule victory. Our game exactly 1.5 hours, timing in at 8:41 your final pitch time. But the Wolverines did their spot in the winners game tomorrow. They will play the Miami Redhawks here at Alumni Field at noon. Big Ten Network coverage will not be here, but WCBN Sports will be, so be sure to tune in with us tomorrow. Always tune in with WCBN Sports.
And any final thoughts before we leave our listeners to their nights?
It's just an anticlimactic win for the Wolverines. It was one of the most lackluster rounds of applause you'll hear from Alumni Field with a run rule victory. Everybody kind of stood up. The players in the dugout, not too pumped, just walked out as well. And There you go. And the Wolverines are walking into a regional winners game tomorrow. We will have the call for you. Join us at Alumni Field again. And thanks for tuning in tonight.
All right, that's all for our broadcast today. Be sure to tune into our broadcast of Michigan versus Miami. No, not that Miami, Miami of Ohio. We'll be back with you then, but until then, good night and go blue from Morris Fabry and Jeremy Parks. Thank you for tuning in.